let's try to go back to the core subject that we're here to discuss, is what to do about Iran. And I think it's clear that from what's been going on the last 6 to 9 months, the question really has been, is there a way for the international community to convince the regime in Tehran, short of military force, to stay on this side of weaponizing its nuclear program? Well, that is at least one definition of what the broader international aim is. And I think one of the things that you've written about with great distinction is obviously some of the military dimensions of this, and what a more kinetic, as it's liked to be expressed in Washington, solution to this would look like. But before doing that, Max, as a military strategist, as someone who understands the region and the wars of not so distant past well, let me put it to you this way. If you were sitting in Tehran now, and you had seen the aftermath of the events in Iraq and Afghanistan, the fall of Gaddafi, and the resilience of the North Korean regime, and you were surrounded by a range of nuclear powers, and both near and far, and with an increasingly hostile Arab world, as hostile as Israel is in lots of ways, and mutual hostility certainly is the case, would you not want a nuclear deterrent?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I'm the best person to be a spokesman for the Ayatollahs here. I mean, you can certainly make the case that they see threats to their government and their revolution that they want to safeguard with nuclear weapons, but I think you can also credibly make the case that what they seek is to export the revolution and to exert Iranian national dominance across the region. They see nuclear weapons as being a way to achieve that goal as well. And clearly they're getting mixed signals, I think, from recent events. Certainly the aftermath of the regime change in Afghanistan and Iraq, orchestrated by the United States and Britain and our allies, no doubt gives the Iranians hope and makes the West wary of military action. On the other hand, the overthrow of despotic regimes with help from the West in Libya, without help from the West in places like Egypt, and the current ongoing turmoil in Syria, no doubt terrifies the Iranians. I think the regime is deathly afraid of their own people. They're afraid of a repeat of the Green Revolution of 2009 on a much larger scale, one that could actually topple them, just as they toppled the previous regime of the Shah in 1979. And again, I think that's another reason why they want nuclear weapons, because they look at the North Korean regime hanging on with basically no money, no credibility, nothing going for it except essentially nuclear weapons, and they say, hey, we want to get some of that too. This is going to be the way that we can stave off various threats, whether from our own people or from the Americans or from the Saudis or whoever. And so I think it's almost overdetermined that the Iranians want nuclear weapons, and there are a lot of reasons why they want them. And you know, I said I'm not a good spokesman for the Ayatollahs, but I can certainly see from their standpoint why they want them. And that's why I'm skeptical of whether sanctions will actually dissuade them from going nuclear. I don't think we have run the course in sanctions yet, and it's only now, and it's sort of scandalous that it's only now, after many years of concern about the Iranian nuclear program, that the West is finally putting into place the kind of tough sanctions that we should have had years ago. For example, sanctions on the central bank of Iran, or the EU embargo on Iranian oil, which is going to start in July. Maybe if it had started 10 years ago, the situation would be different, but the reality is it didn't start 10 years ago. These tough sanctions are only taking effect now, at a time when the Iranians already have an estimated 145 kilograms of low-enriched uranium, enough for several atomic bombs. They go ahead and proceed with breakout capacity. And so I'm skeptical that these sanctions will actually dissuade the Ayatollahs, who have spent so many years and have so many reasons for creating a nuclear program. I'm skeptical that the sanctions will cause them to abandon this quest, and nothing I've seen recently suggests that they in fact will, because there's been a lot of hoopla about the fact that talks have restarted with Iranians, and we just had negotiations in Baghdad. But the reality is, there's no visible progress in those negotiations. The Iranians are not giving up anything, and in fact, they are vowing defiance. In fact, just a couple of days ago, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said that the obstacles enemies are in our path won't have any effect. Sanctions are ineffective. Sanctions can't stop the Iranian nation from moving forward. This is the line from Tehran. It doesn't give one hope that sanctions will lead to a diplomatic solution. This is obviously what I and everybody else would like to see happen.
Thank you, Max.